Today is a little bit different. We are trying to, well, I should say good morning. How are you today? And before I get into my spiel, but we are going to try to isolate in a particular equation something that's not isolated. Now let me try to explain what I'm talking about. Suppose we have the formula distance equals rate times time. Now that just means that to find how far you've gone, you multiply how fast you go times your time. Now suppose they say to solve for R. So R, we want to isolate R. And I'm going to put a little mark under the R to show that I want to isolate R. Now to isolate R, I'm going to have to undo what's been done. Now notice R and T have been multiplied. So the opposite of multiplying by T is dividing by T. So I'm going to go over here and divide D by T. I'm going to divide RT by T. Those T's cancel. So the answer is R equals D over T. So I have transformed my equation. All right, let's look at another one. If we have P equals 2L plus 2W, and we're solving for W. Now this might be a little more complicated. If I want to isolate W, first of all, 2L has been added to this, so I'm going to subtract 2L from both sides. 2L minus 2L plus 2W. So the 2L minus 2L cancel. So P minus 2L equals 2W. Now watch this carefully. To solve for W, I have to divide by 2, but this whole thing is divided by 2. So W equals P minus 2L divided by 2. So the main thing here, to solve for a particular letter, you have to undo what's been done. Now, you know how they are, and they try to get us all confused. So now we're going to talk about finding the cube root of a number. The cube root of 64 means what number times itself times that number again equals 64. Now I already know the answer, so I'm going to tell you the answer is 4. If you check, 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. And notice how large it went. I mean, when you say 4 times 4 times 4, it moves up pretty fast. Now, suppose I said, what is the cube root of a negative 27? Well, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, and the cube root of a negative 27 is going to be a negative 3. Again, we have an odd number here. 3 is an odd number. When you multiply negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, you do get negative 27. Now, sometimes you're going to be asked for the square roots of a number, and if you're asked the square root